Good afternoon, everyone, or good morning in some places where you are. Welcome to NASBE Virtual Conference 2020 Award Ceremony. We just are so glad that you're here. And if you've been with us throughout the sessions that were yesterday for new members and with us today in our conference, we thank you. We appreciate it. We've just had a terrific time. We've had great turnout. And we appreciate your extra measure of grace and mercy as we've had tech issues. Nothing. There hasn't been anything major, but thank you for that extra measure of grace and mercy. And as you know, those of you who are state board members from across the country, if you're with us at our annual conference each year, one of the highlights is that during our lunches, during our dinners, during our breakfasts, we take time to pause and to celebrate some of our most treasured people in the educational arena here in the country. And so because we're virtual, we're not staggering out over meals because we're not having any meals. So what we're doing is having this, what we're calling our red carpet event. So welcome to our award ceremony. We're just so pleased that you're here. And our guest, our moderator this afternoon, our own Billy Crystal, if you will, so this for the Oscars, is our board chair, Brooke Axiotis, who is also the chair of the Iowa State Board. So, Brooke, thank you so much for chairing the board of NASBE, and you have the great honor of having the fun. You get to give away the award, so take it away, Brooke.
Thank you so much, Robert. Too bad I can't be the person to hand awards to everyone, but I hear that they've been shipped and everyone has their awards, so please remember, if you have your awards, please go ahead and hold those up. Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the 2020 NASBE Award Ceremony. Again, I am Brooke Axios, the chair of the NASBE Board of Directors, and I'm also the chair of the Iowa State Board of Education. Today, we have the happy task of recognizing tremendous contributions to public education and to NASBE of some remarkable individuals and organizations. Our first award today will go to NASBE's Policy Leader of the Year. Each year, NASBE honors a national or state policymaker in recognition of their contributions to education. I now invite NASBE Chair-elect Byron Ernest to present the winner of this year's award.
Thank you, Brooke. And this is certainly an honor. And Robert, I love what you said about treasured people, and certainly the person that I'm going to have the opportunity to give this to, I consider an Indiana treasure. And so I'm really, really excited about this. But it's such an honor to be presenting the Policy Leader of the Year Award to Speaker Brian Bosma. He retired as Speaker of the House in Indiana this past July, but he's always going to be Speaker Bosma to me because of the tremendous respect I have for him. So that's just the way it's going to be. The Policy Leader of the Year Award is the highest honor that National Association of State Boards of Education gives. This award is given annually to a national or state policymaker in recognition of their contributions to education, as Brooke said. Speaker Bosma has always had a keen interest in education. This interest was honed even further back in the late 1980s when he served as legislative advisor to H. Dean Evans, who was our state superintendent of public instruction at the time. And so I can assure you with his experience that he's had the real world and the in the arena experience in leading our state's largest and what I would call the most important line item. And I know he feels that way as well. And under Speaker Bosma's leadership, Indiana has always been a trailblazer in education. Indiana is ranked #1 in charter school law by the National Alliance of Public Charter Schools. And Speaker Bosma has also modeled and walked the talk in support of state boards of education. And to give you an example of this, the speaker supported a panel legislation to establish a panel in which we took a look at, as a state board, the Indiana graduation requirements and really took a look at, did we need a single exam? We were back in the graduation qualifying exam days with that. And so Speaker Bosma believes in the importance of state boards and always strove to give the decision making to the appointed members of the technical education knowledge to do the work of creating excellence which is our best equity proposition, as Robert keeps saying, for the students of Indiana. And as an example, I would say to the rest of the world. And I got to experience this firsthand because I got to end up chairing that panel. And so I was able to experience his follow through of that support. And on a personal note, lastly, I would just say that when I was asked by Speaker Bosma 6 years ago now to serve on the State Board of Education, I asked him, and it'll be interesting to know if he remembers this. I said, what does a successful state board member look like? And he said, thin with hair, and I knew I was in trouble. But I asked him what a successful state board member looked like, and he said, Byron, it's very easy, 3 words: consensus to implementation. And Speaker, I have not ever forgotten that. And this was the mantra of the great leader that he is. As citizen leaders, we need to take our individual voices, and we need to inform collectively, and then give that collective leadership to reach consensus. And then we have to have implementation for that excellence to really happen. He also reminded me on that day, he said, Byron, let me just remind you that the place where great legislation and policy go to die is in implementation. And so I've not forgotten that either, Speaker, but it is with great honor and respect that I now present Speaker Bosma the NASBE Policy Leader of the Year Award. And I'm the only one, I think, that has screwed up, because we thought we were going to be in person. So I actually have his award right here, which I will get to you. We had a big event planned tonight to be in person, and that some things fell through on that, but I have this, and we will be together soon, I hope, to do that. And so I'll turn it over to him now to accept this award.
Well, thank you, Byron. That's it's a high honor coming from you, and it's a very high honor coming from the association. As Byron indicated, I cut my political teeth honestly at the table with the Indiana State Board of Education, where I served as the superintendent's liaison both to the legislature and to the board, and I got a front row seat on how policy is created and how it can proceed well and not so well. But more importantly than that, Cheryl and I have 14 some very retired educators in our immediate family, including our daughter, who teaches the 4th grade today, and both of our moms, and we know the importance of education. I want to, while I appreciate receiving the award, I have to mention a couple of people, because I had some great policy folks on my team that Byron has worked through with this: Danny Kelly, Tyler Campbell, Matt Butler, and I'll leave one out. It'll come to me before I'm done. I'm sorry.
David Buzzy.
Yeah, David Buzzy, of course, absolutely. And then our fiscal guys. And they really have all had public education at heart, and know that our state board, both ours and yours, are where those policy decisions should be. Our state constitution makes the policy making body for education in the state legislature. And I had to frequently remind my colleagues of that it's our responsibility, but we have delegated a large portion of that in Indiana to folks with hands-on experience that have to work through the details, like our state board. So sincere thanks to NASBE. Thank you, Byron, for the presentation. And those guys that couldn't be with us tonight because I'm now COVID positive, thank you. We really do appreciate all their help. So thank you very much.
Thank you. Congratulations.
Congratulations again, Speaker Bosma, and all the best. I hope you get better soon. All right, I am now pleased to present NASBE's Distinguished Service Award, which are given annually to members of state boards of education in recognition of outstanding service to public education. Today, we honor 3 exemplary state board members: Wilson Hess of the Maine State Board, Dr. John Kelly of Mississippi State Board, and Maria Gutierrez of the Guam Education Board. First, Wilson Hess. He has served as chair of his board in Maine and as a member of the Legislative Action Committee, where he excelled in building relationships with legislators. Hess was instrumental in board policies on higher education, career and technical education, school construction, and expanded internet access. Wilson spent more than 40 years in higher education, including more than 20 years as college president. As president of the University of Maine at Fort Kent, he launched successful online degrees and the state's largest dual enrollment early college program. An active member of NASBE, Hess has served on the editorial advisory board since 2016. Board colleague Fern Desjarnes called him a tireless educator who does not sit on the sidelines. Another colleague, John Bird, lauded Wilson for making him a more effective board member. On behalf of NASBE, I am honored to present you with its Distinguished Service Award. Congratulations, Mr. Wilson.
Well, thank you, Madam Chair. I'm going to attempt to hold this up. It's a lovely deep green, which makes it really tough to show up, but it's a beautiful memento. It's an honor to be mentioned in the same breath as John Kelly, a great leader, as we all in NASBE know. And I'm also thrilled that Maria Gutierrez is being recognized. I've consulted in the U.S. affiliated Pacific Islands for over a dozen years and know the Guam scene quite well. Lots of us on the mainland may not be aware of her work, but she's unquestionably a terrific honoree. Congratulations, Maria. So I'm a bit humbled to receive such an honor, but if I may, I'd like to share two thoughts by the way of acknowledgement and thanks. And by the way, be careful when a college professor tells you he's going to share two thoughts. That's a 55-minute commitment. But if I may, Peter Senge's book, The Fifth Discipline, whose wisdom has guided me through much of my 40 years in higher ed and the 20 years as a college and university president, posits one idea about leadership that has inspired organizations for generations. It's the capacity to hold a shared picture of the future we seek to create together. And in Senge's view, leaders serve as stewards of the vision. It's their task to manage it for the benefit of others. Our board in Maine has crafted a shared vision of the future that we wanted to create. My job and what I'm being recognized for today largely has been to serve as the steward and the advocacy to that shared vision. I'm a great fan of Theodore Roosevelt, so I have to put in a Theodore Roosevelt quote. The best executive, he said over 100 years ago, is one who has sense enough to pick good people. Okay, it was 100 years ago, he said men, but we're going to allow it at that. To do what he or she wants to have done, and the self-restraint enough to keep from meddling with them while they do it. I'm still working on that self-restraint piece, but I truly believe that awards such as this honor those with whom we work. So I accept this award for distinguished service on behalf of all those colleagues who've worked together to build a shared picture of a future in which our state board exercises an ever greater voice in advocating for educational quality in Maine. Much appreciated. Thank you.
Congratulations again, Wilson. Thank you. Dr. John Kelly is Vice Chair and previous Chair of the Mississippi State Board of Education. He chaired the NASBE Board of Directors in 2018 and oversaw the organization's strategic planning. After witnessing the success of other state boards with student members, John pressed for adding 2 students to the Mississippi Board. He also recommended that a student advisory council be established to provide the state superintendent with diverse thinking on student interests across the state. John has a solid record of community and social involvement, and he has been Gulfport's Chief Administrative Officer since 2007. According to Jason Dean, current chair of the Mississippi Board, not only does John bring discipline to our strategic objectives, honed from his years serving in the U.S. Navy, he brings moral compass that ensures we are doing what's right by all of Mississippi's public school students. On behalf of NASBE, I am honored to present Dr. Kelly with his Distinguished Service Award. Congratulations, John.
Brooks, thank you for your kind words. I want to also thank my colleagues who are also recipients of this prestigious award today. You know, I was thinking about this a few minutes ago. Who would have imagined 6 months ago that NASBE would be hosting an annual meeting from a virtual platform? But we're here. I think that is a testament, first of all, to the resiliency of this organization, its members, and the leadership of the organization itself. I want to also thank the committee, NASBE staff, and the selection committee for this award, for having considered me for it. You know, I look around the NASBE's organization and the people involved. There are lots of folks who would qualify for this prestigious award, but you chose to select the three of us for this year. For that, I'm deeply appreciative. Think about the amazing work that's going on in school districts all over the country. My own state, Mississippi, counts as well. It makes you proud to be associated with an organization that has anything to do with public education. And I emphasize that, public education. You know, when I think about the last 12 years that I've spent on the State Board of Education in Mississippi, my colleagues have really demonstrated that they are servant leaders. Every month they show up prepared to walk through the agenda, well informed about the decisions that we're going to be making on any given day, just give of their time freely for the betterment of our children and public education itself. So I want to thank my colleagues from the State Board, Dr. Wright and her entire staff, for the hard work that they have helped us with to make public education in Mississippi much better than it has ever been in the history of this state. And I think that's barring none. I also want to thank Robert Hall. Robert, you and your staff there at NASBE. I can't think of a team of people who are more committed to the work that you do than the folks that you have around you and yourself. You two are servant leaders, always give of your time and your energy, and you think nothing of it. So this is a good time to be associated with NASBE. It's a great time to be associated with public education as well. So again, thanks to NASBE and all of you that were involved in this for having selected me for this prestigious award. This is what the award looks like. I would also reiterate that it is a bit difficult to see on a screen, but I can tell you it's absolutely a wonderful and a beautiful award. Team NASBE, thank you very much.
Thank you, John, and congratulations again. The award is beautiful. It's a beautiful NASBE green. I love it. Maria Gutierrez is the longest serving member of the Guam Education Board. In her 23 years of service, Maria has advocated strongly for students and families, always ensuring that they have a voice before the board. She was instrumental in creating a for a parent and student on the Guam board, and for the last 6 years has served as the board's advisor to student board members. Maria was chair and vice chair of her board. Under her leadership, the Guam board has developed policies to prevent student and educator harassment, intimidation, bullying, and cyberbullying, and to ensure student safety and data privacy. Gutierrez has been actively involved in NASBE study groups and is a member of the Public Education Positions Committee. Current chair of the Guam board, Mark Mendola, said Her exemplary leadership, unselfish service, commitment, and passion for providing students with opportunities to explore and learn has been the catalyst for improving public education in Guam. It is my honor on behalf of NASBE to present you with this Distinguished Service Award. Congratulations, Maria.
Wow, thank you, Brooke. And I want to congratulate my two, Dr. John Kelly and Wilson, Mr. Hess, because I have met them personally, and I am very grateful to all of you and to the NASBE staff and all the NASBE state board members. Thank you to the board of directors, because when I received the notice on September 23rd, and the time difference in DC and Guam is like 2 o'clock in the morning, and I opened my email, I have to make sure I have my bifocal on. And when I look at it, you know, I was very emotional. Thank you so much. This award is not only for me, it's for the people of Guam, the students, and my family. And I treasure my membership and our membership on NASBE. It has helped us here on Guam, being far away from all of you. But one thing I promise that I will continue to advocate for us, for the Guam Education Board, to continue to be a member of NASBE, because it has really made a big change with us here in Guam. As you know, we're very far away. We have the same problem with the coronavirus. We still have the same problem of trying to figure out when are we going to open our school because of the pandemic situation. Our numbers keep rising. So it's a lot of sharing, and the after office hours that I attended with NASBE, I really value all this sharing that the other board members are sharing out. But I'm just, you know, sorry, I'm getting emotional, because this is something that I'm doing this not for recognition, but it was a passion that I really enjoy, to provide the students of Guam, especially the public school kids, the best education. And I just want to thank everybody. I want to thank the superintendent of education here in Guam, Mr. John Fernandez. Some of you have met him, and all the employees at the Department of Education for the support in continuing forward to provide our children here in Guam in the public school system the best education. So I just want to thank all of you. You know, yes, I was looking forward to going to Phoenix, not for the award, but to just meet all of you. It's, you know, we travel like 24 hours, and I always enjoy when they say, Maria, how long did it take you to get here? I said 24 hours. And you have opened your arms to the Guam Education Board. You have treated us so good that we will always treasure. We're very grateful. And I always enjoy when I open the Twitter and I see Dr. Ernest is tweeting. I really enjoy that, because, you know, I just enjoyed knowing what's going on around with NASBE and all the state board members. So on behalf of the people of Guam, my family, the Department of Education, thank you. And yes, this award is very special. And I don't know if you can see the color, but it's the same. But it, you know, when this award came on the birthday of my youngest grandson, and I'm so proud. But thank you, Kristen Amundsen. Thank you for the support you have given me during the years that you were the CEO of NASBE, Dr. Hall, Sharon, and all of you. Rachel, thank you for taking care of us when we went to Omaha. And Dr. Byron, I will continue to read your Twitter. And please, all of you, on behalf of the people of Guam, please come and visit Guam. Hopefully, someday we will have the NASBE conference here, and we will give you the best Chamorro Guamanian hospitality. Sidus Ma'asit to all of you. God bless.
Thank you so much, Maria, and congratulations again. So well deserved. I'd just like to take another moment to congratulate all of our 2020 Distinguished Service Award winners. Thank you all very much. And now I invite Maureen Nichols, President of the Nebraska State Board of Education, to present the Friend of Education Award, given annually to an individual or organization whose contributions to pre-K through 12 education are significant and enduring. Maureen?
Maureen, I think we need to go off.
Okay, are we on? Okay. Well, Brian, like you, and Indiana having its own treasure and Speaker Bosma, Nebraska has a real treasure as well. We are blessed with our treasure. I am thrilled and honored to be presenting NASBE's Friend of Education Award to an outstanding, phenomenal, visionary organization, the Buffett Early Childhood Institute at the University of Nebraska. The Buffett Institute works with education partners to transform the lives of young children, birth through age 8, by implementing and supporting high-quality, evidence-based services, programs, and policies that support vulnerable children and their families. The Institute has led 2 signature programs, one of them entitled The Opportunity Gap. And this program seeks to learn and reduce or eliminate income and race-based opportunity and achievement gaps for all children by the end of 3rd grade. The second program is the Early Childhood Workforce Development Program. And this program confronts critical issues in the preparation, the professional development, and the commitment of the early learning workforce. We in Nebraska are so very proud of this organization, and we are very, very blessed that they are in Nebraska. But we appreciate and need the critical work and the vision that it is doing on a daily basis for our young children. So with that, congratulations and welcome to Renee Wessels, the Buffett Institute's Associate Executive Director, who has worked very closely with the founding Executive Director, Dr. Samuel Meisels, since the Institute's inception in 2013. Renee, you're on.
Well, thank you, Maureen. Thank you so very much. It really is our pleasure and just our honor and privilege to be with you today. I think it's maybe the first virtual red carpet I've ever been on. It's a great deal of fun, especially at this time of day, to be able to be with you, to celebrate in this way, but to also be with such a distinguished group of individuals who are also being honored. This is a tremendous honor that we feel here at the Buffett Early Childhood Institute. It is also my honor to stand in for Sam Meisels today. I think many of you know him, certainly Maureen and Rachel Weiss is with us today. He has been a long-standing presence in the field of education, and he would be here today were he not recuperating from surgery. In fact, he was being discharged going home today, and he said, Renee, I think it's just a bridge too far, as much as I would like to do this, but he is recuperating from spine surgery. So he's doing well, and he's on the road to recovery, but he's out for just a few weeks. And if he had been able to reschedule around the NASBE conference, I know he certainly would have. But again, our deep, deep appreciation for this award. We would also especially like to express our gratitude to the Nebraska State Board of Education. Of course, Rachel and Maureen are here with us, and you feel Nebraska's presence in so many ways. We work closely with the state board very regularly. They are a very strong presence at state conferences, at other opportunities where we're bringing Nebraskans together, and as well as national leaders, including policymakers, to focus on the critical issues facing our earliest and youngest learners. Of course, we also work very closely with Commissioner of Education, Matt Bloomstead, on behalf of Nebraska's children and families. In terms of the early care and education landscape, the Buffett Institute's a relatively new player. We are just 7 years old, which is why this award is even all the more felt so deeply on our behalf. But we're 7 years old. We are a part of the University of Nebraska, and we exist because of a vision of the University of Nebraska's leadership with philanthropist Susie Buffett, who came together to say that all children should have the opportunity to grow, develop, and thrive, and that learning starts early. Our focus is on birth through third grade. Our motto is start early, start well. We know so clearly what the research and the evidence shows in terms of what it means for children's trajectory in school and in life. Our mission is very much about transforming the opportunity set that they have based on that early care and education. Sam stated our vision early on in the life of the Institute. And our vision is to make Nebraska the best place in the nation to be a baby. And we've had the pleasure and the honor of working with so many organizations and partners across the state these past 7 years to help make that happen. And in the state, we're a part of the university, so we work closely, of course, with our university colleagues, but of course with the state agencies, not just the Nebraska Department of Education, but the Nebraska Department of Health and Human Services, because we are birth through third grade, but also our other partners, Nebraska Children and Families Foundation, the Buffett Early Childhood Fund, First Five Nebraska, and here in the Omaha metro area, the learning community of Douglas and Sarpy counties, and 11 school superintendents in the Omaha metro area. So together, this work is a true, it's a labor of love, and it's a commitment to partnership. And we've embraced that in a very intentional and committed way. The areas we work on are research, program policy, and outreach. So in accepting this award today, and it really is an incredibly lovely and generous award, but in accepting it, we would really like to do so in the name of partnership and in the way in which we Nebraskans really do work hard to come together with our eye on the prize of improving those outcomes for children, no matter where they are in the span of their development. So thank you so very much for this award. It is truly an incredible honor, and we're very much indebted and grateful to NASBE for this moment. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Renee, and congratulations again to the Buffett Institute. Our final award is the 2020 David Kysilko Award. NASBE's Board of Directors gives this award to an individual who has demonstrated unwavering commitment to NASBE's values and to service on behalf of state boards of education. I invite Rachel Wise, immediate past chair of NASBE, to present the award to this year's winner. Rachel?
Thank you, Brooke. And I'd like to start out by also thanking Byron and his leadership for the awards committee this year. It's so inspiring to listen to all these the award recognition that we have. It's really just an honor and privilege to be a part of an organization that recognizes so many important partners and individuals that make a difference in education. And it's a true honor and privilege that on behalf of the NASBE Board of Directors, I present the 2020 David A. Casilico Award to Kristen Amundsen. Chris, okay, I'm glad you're on. She is the past president and CEO of NASBE, and the Board of Directors gives this award to an individual who has demonstrated unwavering commitment to NASBE's values and to service on behalf of state boards of education. And I'd like to take just a minute to share why this award is so appropriately given to Chris. Before her retirement from NASBE, Chris represented the 44th district in the Virginia General Assembly for a decade. She also served for nearly a decade on the Fairfax County School Board, including 2 years as its chair. She was Senior Vice President for External Affairs at Education Sector, an independent think tank, served on Virginia's P16 Council, the Southern Regional Educational Board, and was a Virginia Commissioner to the Education Commission of the States. Chris also co-founded IABECA Women's Scholarship Foundation, which helps young women in Central and South America pursue their educational dreams. She co-led a mentoring initiative at Christ Church in Alexandria called Kids of Note, and is currently launching EduTutor VA, a nonprofit organization that is designed to close learning gaps by providing one-on-one tutoring in core academic areas by trained college students and alumni. Two other EduTutor VA co-founders are former members of the Virginia State Board of Education. Her book, 81 Questions for Parents, Helping Your Kids Succeed in School, will be published later this year. An ardent supporter of state boards as well as equity and excellence in education, Chris successfully advocated at the federal level for increased state authority under the Every Student Succeeds Act, which was signed into law during her tenure. She penned op-eds in major daily newspapers to advance the work of state boards, spoke on numerous panels regarding education, and frequently collaborated with other state-facing education organizations on issues before Congress and the U.S. Department of Education. As NASBE president and CEO from 2013 to 2019, Chris led the association through a strategic planning process to target resources to issues of greatest priority for its membership. She designed new projects and acquired revenue to support them, increased the quality of member convenings and publications, helped state boards with strategic planning and crisis management, and focused attention on members' boardmanship skills. Chris also wrote NASBE at 60, State Boards Reflect the History of Public Education in America. Chris's impact is lasting. She continuously sought and found a seat at the table for state boards on national education policy, said Brooks Adiaxis, NASBE board chair. Even in her retirement, she is working tirelessly to ensure quality, equity, and access to an excellent education for students everywhere. Chris, thank you so much. Thank you for your leadership. Thank you for what you have done for education, for state boards of education, with always a smile and a sense of humor that we appreciated. So Chris, congratulations on this recognition.
Oh, thank you so much, Rachel. And I've got to say, it may be a virtual red carpet, but it feels pretty fancy to me. I want to thank the entire NASBE Board of Directors. And I just want to say to all of the state board members who are with us virtually, even though I am not able to see you, I wish I could, because I did have a chance to see at least some people yesterday in the new member institute. It was just wonderful. I will tell you that the knowledge that I had received this award actually left me speechless. And Byron, of course, refuses to believe that I have ever been speechless in my entire life, but there honestly are no words to express how moved I am by being awarded the Casilico Award. And following directions, I am holding up the plaque. It's lovely. Now, I want to say a particular thanks to the entire NASBE team. And I will say that any part of this award that grew out of the work that I did while I was the president and CEO at NASBE actually doesn't belong to me. It belongs to the entire NASBE team. The screw-ups were mine, but the successes were shared. And they are a dedicated, smart, and unbelievably focused group of individuals. And I hope that every state board member in America takes great pride in the full NASBE staff, and that just goes triple for Robert. I will say this to the NASBE staff. We maybe have shared it, but it's going on my wall. But I will say that once we are through this COVID time, you are more than welcome to come by and say hello to your portion of this plaque. Now, 2 minutes is not a long time. That's what they gave us. And I know Renee well enough to know that when she says you have 2 minutes, she means you have 2 minutes. So I just want to leave you with really one big parting thought, and it is, of course, a challenge to all of you as state board members, because I know you have never stepped back from a challenge. You are such strong advocates for children, and that is going to be so important in the coming months. You know, the coronavirus did not cause problems for children or for schools. It accelerated and exposed problems that already existed. So those kids who are going to show up in your classrooms a year or two behind, as NWEA now estimates, yeah, here's the bad news. They were behind in March. And those families that lack the technology and the connectivity to get online for learning, they didn't have those things in March either. I understand that Commissioner Rosenworcel was with you today and has coined a new phrase, no child left offline. I think that's just wonderful. I hope you all, take that challenge. Just as kids need textbooks, they need access. The teachers who are struggling to translate their really good, but in the room lesson plans to online lesson plans without, in many cases, any training or much tech support, they didn't have that in March either, So as you start to think now about what happens as we move forward and reopen schools, I would just say this: look very closely at the gaps and the inequities that COVID might have exposed, but that have existed for a long time. And that's where you need to put your focus and your hard work. I am, as this ward notes, a huge advocate for state boards of education. So I know that you can do pretty much anything you set your minds to it when you raise your collective voice, as Robert likes to say, to focus on a problem. And so what I'm saying is, America's kids are really depending on you. I want to thank you again for this honor, more than I can say. And I hope you have a wonderful rest of this NASBE annual conference. It has been a great joy to be with you, and thanks again.
Thank you so much, Chris, and congratulations again. It's so great to see you. And thank you for your nuggets of wisdom as well. Congratulations to all of today's honorees. And thank you all for joining us for the celebration. We'll see you tomorrow at 1 p.m. Eastern Time when we kick off the second day of our conference with a presentation by National Teacher of the Year, Tabitha Rosebroy. Thank you very much, everyone, and have a great evening.